Although manipulation is the most popular technique in dark psychology, there are plenty other techniques we don't talk about often, and that's what we are going to look at in this video. We are going to look at what is dark psychology and various techniques used in dark psychology. It is crucial to be aware of the techniques associated with dark psychology to avoid being manipulated in any form. So, without further ado, let's get started. Dark psychology is a term used to describe the study of the human mind and behavior from a negative and manipulative perspective. It encompasses various psychological theories and techniques that are focused on influencing, controlling, or exploiting others for personal gain. Dark psychology often involves manipulation, deception, and the exploitation of vulnerabilities for unethical purposes. Here are some key aspects and techniques associated with dark psychology. Number 1. Manipulation. Manipulation is a central element of dark psychology. Manipulators employ various tactics to control and influence others for their own benefit. They may use charm, flattery, or emotional manipulation to gain trust and establish control over their targets. They exploit the weaknesses and vulnerabilities of individuals, manipulating their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors to serve their own interests. Number 2. Persuasion and Influence. Dark psychology delves into techniques of persuasion and influence that can be used to sway others against their will. These techniques often exploit cognitive biases, such as the anchoring effect, confirmation bias, or the scarcity principle, to manipulate people's decision-making processes. By understanding these biases, dark psychologists can craft persuasive messages or situations that nudge individuals towards certain actions or beliefs. Number 3. Exploitation of Vulnerabilities. Dark psychologists target the vulnerabilities of individuals to gain power and control over them. This can include exploiting emotional vulnerabilities, such as fears, insecurities, or past traumas. By identifying and exploiting these vulnerabilities, manipulators can establish a strong influence over their targets and make them more susceptible to manipulation. Number 4. Mind games. Dark psychology employs various mind games to confuse, manipulate, and control others. These mind games often involve psychological tactics aimed at undermining someone's sense of reality, creating doubt, or fostering dependence. Gaslighting, for example, is a common technique used to make individuals question their own perceptions and sanity. Number 5. Deception and lying. Deception and lying are prevalent in dark psychology. Manipulators may use outright lies, half-truths, or selective presentation of information to mislead others and advance their own agenda. They may also use tactics such as omission or distortion of facts to manipulate perceptions and control the narrative. Number 6. Covert Hypnosis. Covert hypnosis is a technique associated with dark psychology that aims to influence someone's subconscious mind, without their explicit awareness. This technique uses various linguistic patterns, tonalities, and embedded commands to bypass conscious resistance and directly access the unconscious mind. Covert hypnotists can implant suggestions or manipulate beliefs at a deep level, leading individuals to act in ways they may not consciously understand or desire. Number 7. Emotional exploitation. Dark psychology capitalizes on the emotions of individuals to control their thoughts and behaviors. Manipulators may use emotional manipulation techniques, such as guilt-tripping, love-bombing, or playing on someone's empathy, to elicit specific emotional responses and gain control over their targets. By manipulating emotions, they can shape the decision-making process and manipulate individuals into acting against their best interests. Number 8. Power and control. Ultimately, dark psychology revolves around gaining power and control over others. Manipulators seek to establish dominance, instill fear, or foster dependence to exert control over their targets. They may use tactics such as threats, intimidation, or isolation to ensure compliance and maintain their power over individuals. Number 9. Mind control. Dark psychology explores techniques of mind control, which involve the manipulation of someone's thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors to an extreme degree. Manipulators may employ techniques such as indoctrination, thought reform, or cult-like practices to gain complete control over individuals' minds. Mind control techniques aim to break down a person's identity, autonomy, and critical thinking abilities, making them highly susceptible to the manipulator's influence. Number 10. Exploitation of trust. Dark psychologists often exploit the trust of others to deceive and manipulate them. They may take advantage of existing relationships, such as friendships, romantic partnerships, or professional connections, to gain access to personal information, exert influence, or extract resources. By appearing trustworthy and exploiting the trust placed in them, manipulators can easily manipulate and control their targets. Number 11. Social engineering. Social engineering is a technique that involves manipulating people into divulging confidential information or performing actions that they wouldn't normally do. Dark psychology explores and utilizes social engineering tactics to exploit human tendencies, such as the desire to please others, trust authority figures, or maintain social harmony. By exploiting these tendencies, manipulators can gain access to privileged information or deceive individuals into compromising their own security. Number 12. Machiavellianism. Dark psychology is closely associated with Machiavellianism, a term derived from Niccolò Machiavelli's book, The Prince. Machiavellian individuals are characterized by their manipulative and cynical approach to achieving their goals. They are willing to deceive, manipulate, and use others as mere instruments to advance their own interests. Machiavellianism plays a significant role in dark psychology, as manipulators often adopt Machiavellian strategies to achieve their desired outcomes. Number 13. Exploitation of cognitive biases. Dark psychologists exploit cognitive biases, which are systematic errors in thinking that affect human judgment and decision-making. By understanding and utilizing these biases, manipulators can sway individuals' perceptions, beliefs, and actions. They may use techniques such as anchoring, framing, or the availability heuristic to influence how individuals perceive and interpret information, leading them to make decisions that align with the manipulator's objectives. Number 14. Isolation and dependency. Dark psychologists often isolate their targets from external influences to increase their control over them. By cutting off access to alternative viewpoints, social support networks, or sources of information, manipulators create a sense of dependency and make individuals more susceptible to their influence. Isolation can lead to increased vulnerability and a diminished capacity to critically evaluate the manipulator's actions and intentions. Number 15. Emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail is a tactic commonly used in dark psychology to control and manipulate others, through the threat of emotional harm or withdrawal of affection. Manipulators may use guilt, shame, or fear of abandonment to coerce their targets into compliance. By exploiting someone's emotions and attachment, they exert control over their decisions and behaviors. It's important to recognize that the ethical use of psychology focuses on understanding and improving individuals' well-being, promoting healthy relationships, and fostering personal growth. Dark psychology, on the other hand, exploits and harms others for personal gain and control. It's crucial to be aware of the techniques associated with dark psychology to protect oneself from manipulation and ensure ethical interactions. Developing critical thinking skills, emotional intelligence, and maintaining healthy boundaries can help individuals recognize and resist manipulative tactics. Promoting ethical behavior, empathy, and genuine concern for others can contribute to creating healthier and more trustworthy relationships.